These are football rules you didn't know existed. Starting with the rule that seems like it should be illegal, but somehow it isn't. I'm talking about the two-player penalty kick. You see, while 99% of the time players will just shoot the score when they have the ball on the spot, they can also choose to pass it. Yeah, instead of going for goal, the penalty taker can just tap the ball forward and a teammate can run in and score. It sounds ridiculous, but it's totally legal, as long as the ball clearly moves forward and the teammate doesn't enter the box before it's kicked. Once that happens, it's basically an open play. But you're probably wondering, why don't you see this very often, right? And the simple reason, there's very little to suggest it's any more effective than just striking it the first time. And don't forget, your partner in crime still has to beat the defenders to the ball from the same starting position, so you need to be extra sneaky with it. If anything, it's more of a showboat move you pull when you're 5-0 up and aren't afraid of giving your manager a heart attack. Because when it goes wrong, you look pretty damn silly. Like when Robert Pires and Thierry Henry attempted it against Man City when they were only up 1-0.
I don't believe that, Martin. I do not believe that at 1-0.
Yikes, that's just embarrassing. But from one penalty rule to another, here's the rule where the best example of it was one of the most iconic games in history. In Law 10, if at the end of the match and before or during the kicks, one side has a greater number of players than its opponents, it must reduce its numbers to the same number as its opponents, and the referee must be informed of the name and number of each player excluded. They're not sent off, they just can't take one. Now, I wonder what a super high profile and dramatic example of that was. Oh yeah, the night Zidane gave Materazzi a World Cup souvenir right in the sternum.
Oh, goodness me! Goodness me!
Yep, the 2006 World Cup final. Zidane gets sent off in extra time for that headbutt, leaving France with 10 men. And via the reduced to equate principle, Italy had to even things out by dropping one player from their penalty lineup. So Gattuso was taken out and watched the shootout from the dugout. And it turns out they didn't need him, so it was okay.
That's all. And Grosso has done that job!
And yeah, as you can imagine, not many people were talking about the rule after that finish. But now, we're moving on to the rule that was only just created. The art of elite time wasting and slowing down the game just got a bit more challenging. You see, as of 2025, IFAB introduced a change that meant goalkeepers now have 8 seconds to release the ball after gaining control. If they don't, the opposing team gets a corner kick. That means no more of this carry on when a team is trying to see out a game.
Defending Everton doing.
Before, the rule was 6 seconds, and the punishment was an indirect free kick, but refs rarely enforced it. Now, instead of a soft warning, it's one of the most dangerous situations you can give away. And the first example of the rule being implemented came in a game between Burnley and Spurs, where the Burnley goalkeeper paid the price.
Tottenham are not afraid to go direct, play in the right areas, put crosses into the box, and look to cause the opposition problems from throw-ins and crosses.
Just like that, corner kick. The ref will even start visually counting down in the last few seconds, so keepers can't pretend they didn't know the clock was ticking. And let's be real, you better pray your goalie never ever does this against Arteta's Arsenal.
Saka then gets to kick across and
Good chance, 3-0!
in by Saka. Gabriel! Odegaard's kick gets the flick. It takes. Gabriel's in there.
That's a death wish. But listen, during Euro 2024, there was one rule so crazy, it actually broke a country's law. This didn't come from FIFA, UEFA, or even the referees. It came from German labor law. Let me explain. You see, Barcelona's teenage sensation Lamine Yamal bursted onto the scene at just 16 years old, playing in a Spanish team where he had teammates older than his own dad. But there was a bizarre catch to him playing in Germany, because as wild as it sounds, in the lead up to the tournament, all these reports started emerging that Yamal actually wasn't legally allowed to play football late at night. That's because under German labor regulations, minors under 18 are still considered youth workers, and there are strict limits on when they can work. Normally, teenagers in Germany can't work past 8 p.m.
It's time to go to bed.
Euro 2024 matches regularly started at 9 p.m. local time, which just wasn't gonna work. So naturally, football fans across the world were like, how is this fair? This kid was balling out and they didn't want to have him sub off early because of some outdated law. Local reports even said that if Spain did let him stay past curfew, the federation could have faced a fine of up to 30,000 euros for breaching youth employment restrictions. Honestly though, 30K is worth it for this.
Nice curl! Oh, I say, what an unbelievable goal! The 16-year-old Lamine Yamal!
Luckily, however, it didn't come to that. Turns out there's some special exemptions for professional athletes. The cutoff is 11 p.m. But imagine being so good at football at 16 years old that your manager is willing to break child labor laws to keep you on the pitch. That's crazy. But so is this next rule, because it's all about the drip and who has access and who does not. So you may have noticed, it's only ever goalkeepers who wear trousers and never outfield players. Yep, while everyone else is stuck in shorts, the keeper can rock full tracksuit bottoms if they want. It's simple. As long as it's safe, they have zippers or sharp bits, and the color is distinct from everyone else, they're good to go. It's one of those traditions that stuck around because goalkeepers have to dive on rough or frozen pitches, so trousers give them that extra protection. Now look, whether it's better with or without, that's a personal choice. Because I mean, we've got outfielders who look like they're playing in jeans anyway. Not saying names here.
По-настоящему видный парень.
Лукако. Снова Мария рядом с ним. Лукако мяч удерживает.
Attention, avec sa vitesse, sa puissance à l'extérieur.
And it doesn't seem to slow down the keepers who go for tracksuits. Now this one's wild. Not because of the rule itself, but the fact that it was so blatantly broken in front of everyone. See, back in 2009, Liverpool were playing Sunderland in the Premier League. A fan threw a Liverpool beach ball onto the pitch. Sunderland crossed it in.
Johnson and Rayner are bamboozled by the balloon.
It looked straight out of a cartoon, but the craziest thing about it counted. Yeah, as if things weren't already dark enough for Liverpool in 2009, you've got Pepe Reina having to play one of those goalkeeper reaction drills mid-game. But a random beach ball? This guy had zero chance. Everyone was confused.
It's gone in! It's gone in! It would have gone to Reina, and it's hit the balloon and gone in. It's 1-0 and so unlucky Liverpool.
And here's the thing. According to Law 5 and Law 9, that goal should have never stood. If an outside object interferes with play, whether it's a beach ball, a dog, or even a fan, the referee must stop the game and restart with a ball drop. Instead, Sunderland went 1-0, and it was the goal that won them the game, making it one of the strangest moments in Premier League history. Liverpool fans were furious. The ref admitted the mistake later, and the ball itself ended up in the National Football Museum. Because, yeah, it literally scored a Premier League goal.
So we can see now he's taking the beach ball out. Oh, this is quite a big old moment, isn't it? This is fact.
Yeah, Liverpool's luck was so bad back then, even the rules of the game weren't applying.
Gone to Reina.
But that wasn't the last time football descended into chaos over a rule that nobody saw coming. See, everyone assumes that when your number comes up on the board, you have to leave the pitch. But actually, you don't. There's no rule in football that forces a player to accept a substitution. In the laws of the game, a substitution only becomes official once the player leaving has stepped off the field and the replacement has entered. Until that happens, play can't restart, but the referee can't physically make you leave. The manager can't do much about it either. So it makes you think. You know all those times you see stars losing their heads because they got subbed off early?
He clearly doesn't want to come off, but it's...
They could have actually just said, hey, you know what?
I'm not leaving.
But in reality, it's just one of those strange little details that almost never matters. Like in the 2019 Carabao Cup final, Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga decided he wasn't going anywhere. He'd gone down with a cramp in the closing minutes of extra time. Manager Maurizio Sarri wanted them subbed off for Willy Caballero, a penalty specialist. But when Kepa saw his number, he flat out refused to come out.
He's determined. It's a war of wills at the moment between the goalkeeper and his manager. But you know who the boss is. And it's the boss's word that counts. He's got to go off here.
That's not a great sign.
Bro, what? And I mean, throwing this kind of tantrum when you get subbed off is bad, but my guy should have followed Ederson's lead and just got off the pitch. Sorry, couldn't force the change, and the referee had no authority to eject him. Though the only rule the ref could apply was to delay the restart until things were sorted. Eventually, Sarri gave in, Kepa stayed on, and then failed to save a single penalty before missing his own as Chelsea lost the shootout to Liverpool.
It's Kepa. Oh, he's missed, and it's Liverpool's League Cup once again.
So yeah, sometimes it's better to do what the coach says, even if the rules allow you to disobey. Now, let's talk about one that confuses almost every casual fan. And if you didn't know this one, I'm sorry, but you're casual. This is the offside rule, or more specifically, why you can't be offside in your own half. It sounds simple once you know it. This one catches people out all the time. The official law says a player is only offside if they're in the opponent's half and closer to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and to the second to last defender at the moment the ball is played. So if you're standing inside your own half when your teammate passes the ball, you can't be offside. Full reason for this one actually makes sense, because without it, it stops defenders from just camping near the halfway line and trapping attackers unfairly when they're still technically in their own territory. This is much more exciting. Plus, we got classic high-drama stalemates like when Monaco used it as a tactic to combat against Arsenal's corners in the Champions League. Usually only one player will be outside the box, if any at all, when defending the corner. Monaco used 3. That meant Arsenal also needed to take 3 players out of the Monaco box to counter against this, therefore making their corner threat less effective. Teams using the rule to have tactical warfare on set pieces. Respect. While some rules make the game better, some are just weird. So basically, scoring an own goal from a free kick, that is not allowed. If a direct or indirect free kick is kicked directly into the kicker's own goal, a corner kick is awarded to the opposing team. So instead of gifting the opposition a goal, the reset is actually a corner kick. It's one of those rare safety net rules designed to prevent freak accidents from turning into automatic goals. And maybe it's just me, but if someone was somehow able to score an own goal from their own half, I'd want it to count. They would have to take some 1 in a million type bad luck. Now, we've all seen a player or manager get red carded after a game finished, for various reasons. But did you know that they can get sent off before the game even starts? Yep, the referee's authority doesn't begin at kickoff. It actually starts the moment they enter the field of play for the pre-match inspection, and it only ends once they've left the pitch after full time. That means if anything happens between those 2 points, even in the warm-up, tunnel, or the pre-game handshake line, the referee can still issue a yellow or red card. And believe it or not, there's an example of this actually happening. And it wasn't Roy Keane, but it was one of his former teammates, Patrice Evra. See, during a warm-up when Evra was playing for Marseille in a 2017 Europa League match, Evra was receiving some not-so-supportive noise from his own fans. Evra eventually lost his cool, walked over, and kicked one of them in the head. So before the ref had even blown the whistle to start the game, Evra had been shown a straight red card. Marseille had to play without him. Evra was later banned by UEFA and released by the club entirely. But remember, kids, always keep your cool, because these kind of rules won't save you. And finally, it's time for the rule that not even players themselves know halt the time. This rule's been tripping up players and fans since the dawn of time. You set up for a penalty, hit the post, ball bounces right back at you, and instinctively you smash it in. Seems fair, right? Wrong. That goal doesn't count. The kicker must not play the ball again until it has touched another player. That means if you take a penalty and it comes straight off the back of the post, bar, or even the goalkeeper's gloves, if they didn't actually make contact, you can't be the next person to touch it. If you do, it's an indirect free kick for the other team. This rule only applies to normal penalties during play, not shootout. In a shootout, the ball is dead after 1 attempt. But during a game, it stays live as long as it touches someone else before coming back to you. Off the keeper's body, fine. Off the woodwork, hell no. Bit of a headache, right? Well, imagine being the ref re-explaining to someone who thinks they've scored a perfectly good goal for the rebound. Because it happens. It's just super rare, which is probably a good thing, because nobody wants to go through the trauma of thinking you've saved yourself by scoring the rebound, when you've really just gifted your opponent a free kick. That's ruthless.